Hello, welcome. We got Predator versus Wolverine, issue number 3. And, not a lot actually happens in this book. Like, it's actually like four different, like, sub-stories. Like, we check in on the overarching plot, which I'm going to show you that right here. Which left off with Wolverine trapped at the bottom of a river or a lake or something after a bunch of rocks collapsed on him, and the Predator's coming down to hunt him. It's pretty cool. I don't know why we're telling the story in the manner that we are, because it's very unsatisfying. Like, we check in for a couple of pages on this story with its excellent art. Like, this part of the book just looks great. Look at this. Look at freaking Wolverine, man. He looks great. The Predator looks great. The coloring looks great. Like, all this stuff is so good. And then it immediately ends. And once it ends, we jump over to Wolverine on the Weapon X bed where they're infusing him with adamantium and all that. We jump over to there. The Predator's like getting ready to kill him and take his skeleton because he's got adamantium bones. As Wolverine narrates, "I'd become the ultimate prize." So the Predator hits him with some dissolving like acid spray, like he's a wrestler. The Great Muda here hit him with the poison mist, and Wolverine dissolves. At least his face does. I presume his brain does. I don't know. Now, depending on what era of Wolverine we're talking about, this is easily survivable. Like, there was that era of Wolverine 10, 15 years ago where he was fighting that dude named Romulus, and regenerators couldn't be killed except with a magic sword. Remember that? No? Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. But like that Wolverine, he walked out of a molten vat of steel. No tendons, no nothing. Just his bones were animating their way out of there. Like, well, his adamantium coated bones were animating their way out of there like a freaking magic skeleton. It was preposterous. But then you go back to, like the mid 90s, and Magneto rips all the adamantium out of Wolverine, and Jean Grey basically has to hold him together with her mind until his healing power works, right? Am I remembering that right? I think I'm remembering that right. So, like, I don't think that Wolverine would have survived this. But the Wolverine from, like, the whole "I'm going to kill Romulus" thing would have survived this. This Wolverine, who's, like, he's not even fully Weapon X yet at this point, I don't think. Like, they're still in the process of making him right there. That face, there's something wrong about it. He survives. In fact, that's not the most preposterous thing he survives. Like, getting his brain dissolved, not the most preposterous thing. Although that's a pretty cool shot, isn't it? I think that's pretty cool. No, this Wolverine, yeah, survives re-entry. Dude, okay. Like, you're really stretching my suspension of disbelief with this one. Now, the whole plot there is actually kind of interesting because the Predator is took Wolverine on his spaceship, and he's getting out of Dodge, and the Canadian military or somebody's military is trying to shoot the Predator's ship down, yada yada, and Wolverine heals enough that he like staggers off of the ship and plummets back to Earth, and yada yada yada. Like, I get it. It's kind of fun because it's so stupid. I kind of enjoyed it, but man, I got to tell you, what I wanted from this book was not like absolutely no Wolverine combat except for when he wakes up and stabs the Predator before, getting melted. Like, how about we just let these guys fight, bro? Then at the end of the book, we check in for what's probably the start of the next chapter or the next story, and it's like Wolverine in Japan, which is what's on the cover of the book. So this is kind of like false advertising, because this is not the core of the story. This is like the setup for the next issue. And there's an intermission. So like the first thing here is this stuff with Wolverine in the water now. There's also like 4 pages of Wolverine 1 week ago because, Of course, we can't just tell the story in a linear fashion and build up to Wolverine versus the Predator in the present with the stakes being raised bit by bit. We got to jump back and forth like this is a badly produced television show. Guys, you can. You can, in fact, tell a linear story. It's not that hard. Beginning, middle, end. You can do it. You have the power. It would have been way more satisfying. We see Wolverine in Old Alaska where he meets the Predator. Wolverine in Vietnam. Wolverine as Weapon X. Wolverine in Japan. Wolverine in the present. 5 issues, 5 different time periods. Wolverine and the Predator having a great throwdown in each time period. Why was that so hard? What did anybody want from this book except for what I just described? If even that, I would have been satisfied with like a 40-page one shot of these guys going to town in Alaska. No preamble, no story, no explanation for why they're out for blood. Just throw them together and let them fight. They're both apex predators. Just do it. Yeah, I guess I was kind of disappointed in this book. For, man, $6 American. You all take care of yourselves. Bye bye.